Hello and welcome to the Saturday Morning Huddle, week number 2. Kenny Roda alongside John Bozeka, going to get you all caught up on what happened last night in and around Stark County, week 2 of high school football. And John, as we get rolling, we got to give a shout out to the people that make this show possible. AkronAutoAuction.com, Marianne Donuts, Community One Credit Union, DeHoff Realtor, Ty Colucci, Dirty Hands Excavating and Restoration are sponsors for this show, so we can get everybody caught up on what went down last night in week 2.
Yeah, an exciting week 2 for Stark County. Some interesting things that happened that we're going to talk about on the show this morning. Some really exciting interviews coming the folks' way, and I know we're going to kick it off with Chris Kappas from Louisville here in a bit. We're going to have on Spencer Lino and some kids from Perry. And hey, how about Zach Slate's
Opa!
Minerva, the Lions last night? Get it done 23-8 with their win over Crestwood, my wife's high school. Sorry. Jack Lambert's high school too, for those that didn't know. And then John DeMarco, they had their first game of the season last night. For Northwest, they pick up a win with a victory last evening over Marlington, and they improved to 1-0 on the year. But really excited for Coach Slates. I think that's the story of the night. Also, the Louisville win, which I know we're going to talk about, very impressive last night. It's always fun going into week 2. You get another look of non-conference games, and there were just some interesting scores last night, some interesting things that happened, and hey, just can't believe we're into week 3 coming up this coming week.
Pretty scary. We will have our Marianne Donuts Sweet Play of the Week later on in the Saturday Morning Huddle, and our Community One Credit Union Player of the Week. We'll share those with you later in the show. A couple of games, though, right out of the gate. We want to mention our Fresh Marks Sugardale WHBC Radio Game of the Week. Louisville wins that one 30-13 over Alliance. Our friends and family credit union, WHBCsports.com streaming game of the week. You had that. Perry shuts out St. Vincent St. Mary 36-0. And the Altman Health Systems Alt Care YouTube game of the week. St. Augustine Prep out of New Jersey 24, McKinley 14. So those were our big games that we covered last night on WHBC. And I also want to give a shout out to Bryant Bailey from Old Carolina Barbecue for our game. He fed the entire staff yesterday with us. If you're looking for the pigskin party pack that is perfect for any tailgate, go check out Old Carolina Barbecue and what Brian has with his staff. He's been a big fan of high school football through the years here with us. So Brian Bailey, tip of the cap to you, because the official barbecue of football is Old Carolina Barbecue.
I remember being a young man, which I'm still a young man at 32, but I remember being a much younger version of myself, picking up Old Carolina Barbecue for you when you were at a game at Marlington years ago when they played Louisville. So Brian and the folks at Old Carolina Barbecue, they have been feeding the Roda household for years, and they always help. And what is it? The Screamin' Beaver sauce? Is that your thing?
Fantastic. The old classic is good. Mix it with the Screamin' Beaver. Fantastic. And they are the leaders in the clubhouse for the 2025 WHBC Press Box Food Fight Challenge. So Alliance, it was a home game at Karis Stadium. Old Carolina Barbecue, they're on the leaderboard at number 1. Let's run down some of the scores. John, you want to put them on the bottom there, the scroll. I'll read some as we get ready to interview our first coach and player here in a little bit. But Louisville 30, Alliance 13. Massillon wins 44-10 over Glen Oak. Perry 36-0 over St. Vincent St. Mary. St. Augustine 24, McKinley 14. Fitch beats Jackson 41-3, and Jackson was already hurt, not having their starting quarterback and Lucas Eckerman. Well, Carter Molman goes down with an injury in the first quarter of that game. So Jackson falls to 1-1, losing 41-3 to Fitch. Hoover, an impressive 2-0 start. They beat Medina, my bees, 42-17. Lake on the road again, maybe the best team so far through the first 2 weeks. Lake beats Boardman 48-20. Riverside edged Green 16-15. Northwest, we'll talk to Coach DeMarco coming up, 35-0 over Marlington. Minerva, you mentioned it, huge win for Zach Slates, 23-8 over Crestwood. Mogador beats Central Catholic 20-7. CVCA a winner 42-14 over Canton South. Fairless is 2-0, 35-0 over Waynedale. Tuslaw gets their first win. Congratulations to the Mustangs, 38-7 over Chippewa. Manchester 48, Sandy Valley 13. East Canton, Spider Miller and the boys, 49-0 over Wellsville. They're 2-0. They've outscored the opponents 87-0 so far this season. Martins Ferry 35, Melbourne 6. St. Thomas Aquinas, Valley Christian tonight.
Impressive week 2. Like I said, the scores that really stand out. I'm really happy for Zach and the boys down at Minerva to pick up their first win. Lake off to a great start, 2-0, as you said, tied to George last night. Woo! What a night with 5 touchdowns. I know we're going to have Lake coming up on our schedule soon here on one of our 3 games, and
right.
He might have a chance to eventually be the Community One Credit Union Player of the Week. He's had 2 perfect performances for it through 2 weeks. John Collins, as you said, impressive again last night at Hoover. It seems funny, Kenny, whenever Hoover seems poised to have a big year, they seem to have injuries with a quarterback. It's great that they have health this year from John Collins, and I'm so happy for Spider. I know he talked to us last week going through a McDonald's drive-through, with his daughter going to a volleyball game, but 2-0, and what'd you say? Next week, the first chance since 2005 to go to 3-0, and that is our stream game next week between them and Sandy Valley, at Sandy Valley. So we keep you updated on what's going on and what to look at. Plus, Fairless last night, impressive win for that. I just, a lot of important scores last night, a lot of interesting looks at kind of who's good. And, I know you were impressed by Louisville last night. I know we're waiting for Coach Kappas and Gabe Stauffer here in a moment. And I think
we're actually going to have Quinn Burek with Coach Kappas coming up here. Gabe Stauffer, he had a hell of a game last night, but so did Quinn Burek. So we'll have them coming up here very shortly.
Yeah, we've actually got them in the stage right now. They are ready to join us here on the Saturday morning huddle. Be a part of this.
There we go. We'll get the guys in here. We'll get them all squared away and talk about their big win last night. 30-13 was the final last night for Louisville, getting a road victory over Alliance. And there's Coach Kappas and also with Quinn Burek. Coach, thanks for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. How'd the film look this morning after you celebrated a little bit last night, but it's always nice to go look at it a second time. How'd it look, that 30-13 win?
Well, just like any game, you always feel like you leave a lot of meat on the bone, and so a lot of things to correct right there. We always try to coach the guys harder after a win and show them all the mistakes and demand excellence. So, we won the game, so that's the most important thing. But we can certainly execute at a higher level.
Always, it's good to make corrections after a victory, more so than it is after a loss. But, a great, I thought, balanced game by your team last night, Coach. And we're going to play the highlights here, and you can, check these out while we talk about the performance of Gabe Stauffer and your entire offense last night. What did you like most about what you saw offensively?
Well, the number one thing is we didn't turn the ball over. And when you do that, you're always going to have a chance to be in the game in the fourth quarter. And, that's what we keep telling our guys. That's what we're built for, is 4 quarters. But when you protect the football, and then we were able to run the ball pretty efficiently and then come up with some big plays and some big situations. We executed a great 2-minute drill at the end of the first half to get a score and get a lot of momentum going in the second half.
Coach, as we check out these highlights, I was impressed with your special teams last night. I thought arguably the 3 biggest plays maybe of the game were right before halftime. You get a kick return of 40-plus yards to set you up on a short field, and then back-to-back wheel routes that end up giving you a touchdown and an 8-point lead at halftime. And, of course, this play right here, the fake punt on special teams as well. How crucial were those plays last night on special teams?
Oh, they're huge. And the guys, those are plays that we run every time we practice those special teams or in those 2-minute drills. And so it's not the first time we've run those things, and we try to save them to when we need them the most. And they came up big in those situations.
All right, Quinn, I want to talk to you about this offense led by Gabe Stouffer. He's got a lot of weapons, including yourself, to get the ball to. What's the best part about the offense that you're involved with this year with the Leopards?
The coaches, they put us in a great position, and we just go out there and execute, and that's really all it is.
Quinn, last night, as I look at the stats here, 3 receptions, 59 yards, a long play with 34 yards. As you accept your role, right, Quinn? Everybody has a role. Do your job. I'm sure coaches have mentioned that a few times, and if all 11 do their job, good things happen. How are you approaching this as far as your role in this offense on a 2-0 team?
Well, we all have our job. I'm just doing mine, but, they put us in great positions, and we just go out and execute what we got to do.
Coach, 3rd year for you there, right, at Louisville, and you're looking to really break through this year. After the first 2 years coming into this season, were you feeling like the culture was put in, they bought into it, your philosophy, your coaching style, and this is more of a let's just go play football instead of having to implement a lot of things?
Yeah, it's finally the point now where, after last season, this group of seniors has really taken the reins and driven the ship. You know what I mean? And we just, as coaches, we try to, steer it in the best direction possible. But this senior leadership, led by these captains, they want to win. They want to do things the right way. They were beating down our doors to watch film all off season, doing extra throwing, all the stuff. So, when you get a group like that, and then, they take the reins of it and put you in a good position every single week because of their preparation. It makes it a lot more fun to coach and shoot. Like we're scrambling to get stuff ready for practice. Kids are already out there starting practice early on their own, getting stretching done and getting their kicks up and everything like that. So it's just that kind of team and the love and the unity that these guys have for each other and for our staff and our staff's camaraderie, the continuity we've had on our staff. All that stuff matters. And, I think that shows up on Friday nights when they trust each other.
Quinn, how nice is it for you and the entire set of skill players on offense to have an offensive line that averages 6'3", 270 doing the dirty work up front?
It's awesome. They work hard and they do their job. We all do our job, but it's awesome.
Coach, for you, having that offensive line and some of those guys play defensive line, winning at the point of attack, it's got to be reassuring to know that that's what you're going to roll out each and every week, and you're going to have an advantage almost every game.
Well, I mean, everything starts up front, and you want to make the playoffs, you want to play good high school football in Stark County. You got to be able to run the ball, and you got to be able to stop the run. And having big guys, strong guys that are also smart and athletic. That's what makes a great team. And then, a quarterback that's going to be able to distribute the ball and take care of the football, I think has been a strong point of our team so far this year.
Quinn Burek, one of the wide receivers for Louisville, joining us with Coach Kappas. Louisville wins last night 30-13. Special teams, offense, defense, all came together for a 2-0 start. Quinn, with the ability of Gabe Stouffer to run the football and throw the football, right? He's a dual threat quarterback, but he also, there are times when he's passing and maybe the line breaks down a little bit and he's scrambling. How do you guys as receivers keep an eye on him on a passing play like that, and to know maybe when to break off your route and come back to him, I guess, on one of those scrambling plays?
It's a chemistry thing. We've worked all in the off season together all summer, so we just know what's going to happen. We know where to go and what he's going to do.
So how much fun is that, where you can maybe play a little backyard football like that when the play breaks down?
Yeah, just play backyard football is really all it is when the play breaks down. That's what we do.
That's why it was a great game for you guys last night. Coach, now you're 2-0. The best thing about 2-0 is you can go 3-0, right? Urban Meyer made that statement many times. Northwest next week, going to be a good test for you there. What has to happen for this Louisville team to get off to a 3-0 start?
Well, it's the same thing every game. We gotta run the ball. We gotta stop the run. We got to protect the football. We got to play great on special teams, and that's always a well-coached program that serves a lot of challenges to defend. Especially, they play hard. They're tough kids, So, they've gotten the best of us the last 2 years. And, the biggest thing too is keeping our guys hungry and level, because, success is new for this group. So, that's why we talk about every day, the whispers that in your head and at home and in school. What really matters is how we pick each other up and how hard we work every single day. And that's got to be our preparation starting on Monday.
So far, so good. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Coach, congrats on the win. Owen, congrats on the win. Best of luck next week against Northwest. We'll talk to you throughout the year, all right?
Great. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys having us.
What a good win for them last night, John Bozeka, on the road to go to 2-0. So Chris Kappas has that team turned around. And guess what? I think our next guest, right? He's got his team turned around and off to a 2-0 start. You take this one because you got to see these guys.
Yeah, the Perry Panthers last night in the Friends and Family Credit Union WHBC Sports.com stream game of the night, a win over St. Vincent St. Mary 36-0. And we have the pleasure now of being joined by Perry head coach Spencer Lino, as well as a pair of guys that were all over the field last night in Jaden Wilson and Evan Laubacher. And Coach Lino, quite a win for you guys last night. St. V comes on the road to you guys. I know St. V's a little down right now, but just the statement that you guys made in your first home game, we were saying on the broadcast that first drive was surgical. What goes into an opening drive like that?
That's something we challenged our kids all week. We thought we got off to kind of a slow start versus Central last week, and that's something we preach every single day to our guys, we have the ability to make explosive plays on offense and to do that and to execute that. And especially in our home opener with a lot of energy, a lot of hype. It was military appreciation night. I thought our kids did that. They started fast. Defense started us off. We got off the field and then put our offense in a position to score on that first drive.
The command that the quarterback Cameron Traharn has of the offense, he's only a sophomore. Coach, can he even drive yet?
Can he drive yet?
Yeah.
Oh, he can. They informed me that he can, so you better watch out on the road. No, yes. Again, sophomore quarterbacks. He's doing a great job for us. For young guys, man. They just got to continue to progress. I mean, I don't even want to say game by game. I think it's series by series. And he's good, especially at a position like quarterback, and like these guys play some DB. You got to have a short memory, right? If something doesn't go right. But I think he's just continuing to progress, and I'm proud of him for that.
Jason, it's funny. Last night we were talking throughout the game and saying how aggressive you guys are defensively. What goes into being aggressive, but not being too aggressive to the point to where you maybe commit a penalty?
Most of it's discipline. Like every day at practice, we just stay focused on our goal in hand. We always fly the ball. That's our thing. We fly the ball, and we hit. We hit every single play, and that's kind of our motto. Is we just hit, and we talk with our pads, and that's just what we do.
Yeah, and it seems the same for you. It seems like you guys relish in the opportunity to have contact with the other team. Why is that?
Yeah, well, our defense is really based on communication. And to me, I think I lost my voice, and I lose it. I'll probably lose it every Friday because I'm always talking, always communicating to our DBs, our linebackers, everyone.
Coach, you gotta love that, John. I Coach is smiling, right? You gotta love that, Coach. Communication like that, where there's another coach or two on the field. Yeah, you're from ear to ear smiling on that, right?
That's correct. I mean, defensively, it's about number one, like they said, and like you guys said, you have to swarm to the football, right? And we have to be great tacklers, and then with that, alignment and assignment and communication. I mean, you look at any big play that happens to a defense, it's either a missed tackle, misalignment, or somebody doesn't communicate. So, in practice, if they're not yelling, right, if Evan's not making the checks at safeties, or if JJ's not communicating back with the safety that I got the check, it's going to be an issue. And our kids have really bought into that.
Well, and guys, we've got some highlights from the game here last night, and obviously one of the big reasons why you won too was the work of Jonathan Lemon last night. Really nice play here. Coach, kind of take us through some of these.
Yeah, so that's just a swing pass there. They were playing some man-to-man coverage, and when a team does play man, releasing the back out of the backfield can be very utilized. I think you're continuing to see John Lemon along with Shepard make explosive plays in our running game, and we want to win the rushing war every single game, and we hopefully we get our other back soon here as well, Caleb Hunley. So we feel good about those guys.
Yeah, and Jaden, for you had a nice pass catch there that we saw, a reception that was really nice over the middle of the field. When it comes to working with your sophomore quarterback, what's allowed that relationship to grow so quickly?
Especially it started in the summer before we even had camp. Actually, it was in the winter. We were throwing in the gym. We were throwing any chance we could get. We'd go to the elementary school gyms and throw. Any chance we got together to throw, we build a connection over time.
Yeah, and I know for you sometimes you're called on the offensive side of the ball as well, but mainly being on defense. What does it do for the confidence of the defense when you have an offense that is able to control the game like that?
It feels good. It feels really good to have an offense that can hold the ball as long as they can to get us off the field. And we want to try and get them the ball as much as we can, whether it's turnovers or 3-and-outs.
Spencer, I know you mentioned that you love the intensity of the defense. That's your calling card, right? I mean, I was looking last night before we did the game. When you were at Massillon, you were a tackling machine. When you were at Wittenberg, you were a tackling machine. You just love seeing guys hit people, don't you?
Yeah, defensively, man, you have to play on the edge. You always have to be on that edge. You have to play with great passion, great energy defensively. And again, it comes back to how these guys practice. You have to practice that way. You can't just turn it on game night. So them being consistent, and then we talk about. I told him last night. Controlled chaos. Right. We want to be violent at the point of attack, but within our scheme, in doing your job while still doing all that stuff, it takes practice.
Well, I want to jump in on the
No.
I want to get comments from Jaden Wilson on a pick six. Take us through, on defense, what the call is in the huddle, the plays developing, and then your eyes get real big like that, man, and then it's taking it to the house. What's that like?
I think we're in cover 4 there, so I was running with a slant, or it might have been a post, and I just saw the ball was kind of behind them, and I just had to make sure I didn't drop it. And I saw the green grass in front of me, and I got real excited.
Well, and Jaden, before that, earlier in the half, your corner on the other side, Nasir Foster, gets a pick six as well. Tell me what you're thinking when you see your teammate getting to do the same thing that you eventually get to do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure on that pick six I was on the sideline, so I was pretty excited to watch it, but I was like, I want it to be my turn next. So.
Evan, you were close at one point too. The ball went through your hands too, didn't it?
Yep, it did.
You again, that goes back. Kenny always jokes about this, kind of those like unidentified, like flying objects that are back there flying around defensively. With the camouflage jerseys on last night, that's kind of what you guys look like, wasn't it, Coach Lino?
Yeah, we were definitely we looked stealthy out there. Kind of threw me for a loop watching the game there for a little bit, but I thought it looked good. It was great. Those opportunities are great to honor, our military.
Coach, 2-0 now, and I talked last night to Brad Fox, who's a higher up within the athletic department at Perry, and he said we're 2-0, but the season starts now. Can you elaborate on why Brad might have said that?
Yeah, we love these wins, right? We want to celebrate wins, and you never want to take winning for granted because we've been on the other end. I've been on the other end of it. But he's exactly right. I think every week is a new week, right? And we have to continue to progress. We're not satisfied. We are not satisfied, and we talked about that right after the win last night. And, we have upcoming this week, we have a really good opponent. Warren Harding, as you guys know, is always traditionally a good program, an athletic group of guys. They got a good head coach, and we're at Mollenkoff as well. So we got to be ready to go, and then we go right into the Fed play, which, as you know, week in and week out is gonna be a grind. So, we got to take it week by week, just continue to get better, focus on the details, and we'll continue to grow.
Coach Lino, Evan Laubacher, and Jaden Wilson, boys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being part of the Saturday morning huddle, and congrats on being 2-0. And we'll see you guys down the line again soon, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thanks, guys, for having us on as always. Good to see you.
You too. Thanks, Coach.
So good.
Kenny Roda.
Last night for Perry, right? So they're off to a 2-0 start, and also a big win for Minerva last night as they get their first of the season and the first for their new head coach at Minerva. Oppa! As Zach Slates joins us here on the Saturday morning huddle to talk about Minerva, the Lions' big win last night. Happy for you, Coach. Congratulations. How'd that one feel last night? Oh, Coach, can we get you to turn your mic on? You're muted, I think, on your end. If you can't figure it out, have one of the youngins figure that out for you, because that's what I always do. I have my son or John figure things out when it comes to the technology of those things.
Yeah, it shows that his mic is on, Kenny, so I'm not sure. Maybe an issue on their end, and they might have to log back in. I love that hat, though. You see that hat that he's wearing? That they have those at Sandy Valley, too, a hat that's very similar to that. I wonder if that's where Garth Evans down in Minerva got the idea from, because he's a former Sandy Valley guy.
Well, no, like you said, Zach said, shaking his head. No, let's see if we can hear. I've got him mute. I'm seeing mute with the mic button for Coach Slates. Let's do it on our end and see if that helps.
Right. Coach, can you? Oh, nothing still.
No.
Nothing still. So maybe we'll have to, Zach, maybe log out and then log back in.
Yeah. Do the phone thing. Yeah. So take him out, John, and we'll get him back up and running. That gives us time to thank our sponsors once again, John, because without our sponsors, we cannot do this show each and every week. And those sponsors, Chad Bailey and everybody at AkronAutoAuction.com, they do a phenomenal job there. If you're looking, for a used car as an individual or your business, AkronAutoAuction.com. Marianne Donuts, yummy, yummy, yummy in my tummy, right? I mean, you can't go wrong with Marianne Donuts any morning of the week. So we appreciate them sticking with us all these years. Community One Credit Union, a big sponsor of the Saturday morning huddle. So thank you to everybody at Community One Credit Union for being a part of this Saturday morning show. We really appreciate that. DeHoff Realtor, Ty Colucci, they're new to the Saturday morning huddle. So welcome and thank you for being a part of it. And Dirty Hands Excavating and Restoration, another new sponsor for our show here on the Saturday morning huddle. So thank you to all of our sponsors for being a part of what we do, trying to bring as much coverage in and around Stark County as we can to all the people out there who love high school football in Stark County. So thank you to all our sponsors, John Bozeka.
Yeah, thanks to Ty Colucci, the folks over at DeHoff Realty, for being a part of that. Known Ty for years. He's a great man and really trusted realtor in the area. And if you're ever looking to buy or sell a house, can't recommend him enough. He just really puts care and puts time into it. You become a part of his family and the folks over at DeHoff. And then, hey, I know that Brandon and Carl at Dirty Hands Excavating and Restoration LLC is happy, getting his hands dirty for a brighter future. And his son, Cam, has been getting his hands dirty as the Falcons are 2-0 from Fairless. So I know they're very happy with that. We bring in Coach Zach Slates again from Minerva. Coach, Kenny said it. We'll try it again here. 1-1 on the year. You pick up the first win last night. How did that feel? Tell us.
It was great. It was really exciting for these kids, and the program, the community down here, and they just fought really hard. They did a great job. We challenged them this week. We came out a little flat last week, played a little nervous, And this week we came out, the kids were ready. They were amped up, and we got the job done. That was a really good team we played last night too. So they're a lot like us. They ran the ball a lot, and they wanted to smash it in, and our kids didn't waver on that. So it was really good to see.
All right, Coach, take me back. Not a good start to the season last week. So what was the mental approach as well as the X's and O's and the physical approach to practice this week, because it paid off?
Yeah, I mean, it was more just letting them know, like, they have to be confident in what we're doing and what they're doing, and they can't be hesitant and be thinking about other things, and they just got to play football. And they did a great job this week preparing. We had a better week of practice. You could just tell last night before the game that they were ready to go, and they wanted to get a win and play harder and play more physical and do those things. And I always tell them, like, that'll take, the score will take care of itself. We play hard and we give all out effort. The other stuff will take care of itself.
Who do you have with you, Coach, on the huddle here with us this morning?
Timmy Kirkpatrick here, and then Owen Schick over here. Owen plays receiver and corner, and Timmy plays linebacker and fullback for us.
Oh, and for you, I want to ask, I mean, you've been a part of the basketball team now for a handful of years, and you guys have tasted success there. How has that success helped you guys early on in the year here on the football field?
I think it's helped us, like, just kind of trying to build that mindset throughout the team and stuff, and just like kind of trying just to have a good winning mindset. And like we've had that with basketball a little bit. So I was trying to, me and Skylar Lab, we came out this year. We wanted to help just try to make the program better. So that's what we're trying to do.
And this is the first time Owen's played in what, 5-6 years?
Yeah, seventh grade.
So he hasn't played since 7th grade, and his he was just learning what to do and stuff. And now that he's got some confidence in knowing what he's got to do, he's developed into a really, really good football player. And I tell him, like, if you block, other things will open up for you. And I told him the story about Pierre Garcon and what his career was like in the NFL because of his blocking abilities and why he got those contracts. And he's really taken that to heart. And he's done an excellent job blocking. He got a touchdown pass last night. Had an opportunity for a couple, and yeah, he's going to get his touches, and he's done a really good job for us. And defensively, he's done great. He can run with anybody. He's a track guy. Both these guys were on the 4x2 team that made it to the States in track this year as well. So it's been good.
All right, Timmy, what has Coach Slates brought to this football program as you now are 1-1 after 2 weeks?
The really big thing that I feel that he's brought is discipline and the mindset that you have to forget the last play. If something bad happens, you have to move past it fast. You can't let it affect you. We're in better shape. We're more disciplined. And I think he's really turning it around.
Coach, it's that goldfish mentality from Ted Lasso, right? You got to forget about that last play. 10 seconds is gone and it's out the window, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. And I told him that last week that once we got on the bus, my mind was going to Crestwood. I didn't care about what happened that night anymore. We were going to watch the film the next day, but I came back and I was watching film till 2:00 on Crestwood. And last night I was the same thing. I just told him, like, win or lose, it doesn't matter. Like, we got to move to the next one. What we did tonight is great, and I want them to be excited. And they celebrated that with the fans and their families and things like that. And I don't want to take anything away from that, but my mindset goes now to Springfield. Like, we got to move past it. We can't just be accepting of where we're at. We got to want more.
Coach, it's interesting. You mentioned, and I want to kind of get Owen and Timmy in on this too, but Owen hasn't played since 7th grade, and it's interesting. You and Tim Wolf go down there, and you're almost recruiting within the Owen school to get kids back out there that weren't playing again. What does it say to the rest of the team that you get a guy that's such a great basketball player like Owen to come back out and put his body on the line and play again on the football field?
Yeah, and I mean, like, it was tough because I wasn't here in the spring, so I couldn't talk to him very much. The kids play multiple sports, and I couldn't get down here before school because it's so far of a drive. I had to be back in Perry by 7:00 in the morning, so I didn't want to bring him in at 5:30 and have him sitting here for an hour before school. So we lifted after school, and obviously these guys are in track and went to the state track meet. So I wasn't able to see them and get with them and lift with them really until the summer's hit. And just being able to get some of these guys out that haven't played has been tremendous. Has been a great pickup for us, and I think more of that will come. Obviously, as you get success, if we win some games like that, that'll change the mindset of the students around here. So and me coming in, I had to. I mean, I'm a hard guy. I'm tough on them, and you can't just come in full bore in June, and because they don't know anything about me yet. So we sort of tapered it in, and I just commend these guys. They stuck it out. This is the hardest thing they've done. I mean, we asked them if this was harder than their practices in the past, and they were like, "Yeah, it's not even close." So I mean, it's good, so it's a commendation to these kids that have stuck it through it, and they've trusted in me and what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to build, and I always tell them, like, I'm the leader of this program, but it's their team. It's their team. It's not my team. My team was in 2002. All right. So these guys got to understand that this is their team and they have the opportunity to change things. I'm going to lead them, and I'm going to lead them in the direction I think we should go. But it's up to them to be the team and to control that part of it. I don't play it down on Fridays. So they did a really good job, and they stuck it out. So I really commend them for doing that.
Oh, and you're used to basketball where there's some contact. Timmy, you're used to track where there's no contact. Oh, and you're the same with track. I mean, what does it mean to go in? We'll start with you, Owen. What does it mean to go in on a Monday evening for practice and Coach Slates is saying, "Hey, you got hit. You got to get back up because you're going to get hit again. You must be sore, my guy."
Yeah, it's definitely it's a little bit different than basketball, but we're getting used to it. It's been a process of getting like used to contact and stuff like that, but I enjoy it. So
Hey,
like
Tim,
I said, he loves block. He's a great blocker. I mean, he's one of the best blocking receivers I've had, and it's a commitment to him. And for somebody that hasn't played for that long and is able to go out there and block the way he does, I mean, it's unbelievable.
Timmy, how big or how tough of a buy-in was it, or was it not tough buying into what Coach Slates is preaching?
It wasn't real hard to buy in at all. I want to trust him. I want to win. I think that if everybody can buy in, then we can really go places. For me, it kind of wasn't hard to buy in because I'm a fullback and I get the ball a lot. So I like that part. But everybody buys in, and I think we could really change it around.
Coach, you seem to really be enjoying yourself too. Has this made football fun again for you?
Yeah, absolutely. This community, like, and going through a change in leadership in the school before I even got down here, I was a little worried, but like Mark Scott came in and he's a freaking rock star. I mean, he is an unbelievable superintendent. Garth Evans, I mean, all those guys, Andy Mangan, our principal, they're so supportive. They'll do anything for me, and just getting texts and calls from those guys, it goes a long way with me, just personally. Like, they really do care. And the community here, like, there's been a ton of success, and I believe Minerva still has the highest average points per game for a season. I mean, they average 58 points a game at one point here, and those guys aren't the guys in the past that have been on those 10-0 teams and had those great teams. They're not about, well, we did this. They're more about, hey, we did this. We want you to feel that same way. We want you to feel that success. And it's been such a drought for the last decade that those guys are just, I mean, they're just dying for these kids to have that experience that they had. And when I got here, they said there's nothing like Minerva on a Friday night, and it was an electric experience here. I mean, being out there and the fans and the cheerleaders and the community just coming out and pouring out with support. And I mean, everybody was texting and messaging and doing all those things to say how happy they are. And I just say, I mean, this is one. I mean, this isn't. I didn't come here to win one game. Like, we came here to change the program and change the culture, and we're doing that. And we can't be satisfied. It's never enough. I mean, even if you go to the state championship game, if you fall short, it's not enough. So it's never enough. We just got to keep hungry and wanting to get better every day.
Zach, that hat too. What do I have to do to get my hands on one?
Regio Sporting Goods. I talked to him in the spring about it. Then everybody did them then. So yeah, it was interesting. Old Jason. I got some
Congratulations.
peppers. I got some. We did some peppers the other day. I'm gonna get them to
Oh,
you guys.
Rick Worstel was asking me about those yesterday. So
gonna get 'em.
we'll hook up for that. And, Coach, we hope that you guys hook up on a lot more wins this season.
Yep.
Congratulations. Got that monkey off your back. The first one's out of the way. Now you can just focus on the season and who's next. So keep doing what you're doing, Zach. We're happy for you.
Appreciate it, guys.
There he is. Zach Slates. Minerva gets their first win of this. How about this? All three first-year coaches this year, right? Perry, McKinley, and now Minerva. All three of those coaches, Renzi Parnell, Spencer Lino, and now Zach Slates, have picked up their first win at their schools.
I would say I'm so happy for my Greek brother, Zach Slates. I'm always happy for him. And, just as he said, Kenny, people don't realize, you go back to the Lynn Mullen years of Minerva back in the 80s when they had Leon Powell rushing back and forth and just some of the great players that they had over the years. That community wants a winning football team so badly. And I am just so happy for Zach. And, another community that loves winning football and is probably one of our favorite places to go is Northwest, and for good reason. And that's why we bring in John DeMarco and Connor Stevenson, both from the Northwest Indians, who won their first game last night, and it was their first game last night. Coach DeMarco, thanks for joining us. Connor, thanks for joining us. Is this a little weird, Coach, that it's week 2? Everyone else is talking about week 2, but you're talking about week 1 for the team so far?
Well, last week was very weird. First of all, thanks for having us on. We appreciate it, and always appreciate it when you guys wander out our way. We enjoy having you in our community, in our football stadium. But this week we're back to normal. I mean, it feels normal to play a game Friday night, come in Saturday morning, start working out. Last week was very weird, watching other people play, not being able to participate in that.
So, Coach, were you able to take a negative and turn it into a positive to help prepare more for this week? What did you do last week? You and I text back and forth a little bit. You found out from your kids finding out on social media. So take us through what that was like, and did it help you for week 2?
Well, as it turns out, it looks like it helped us. But going in, you don't know if it helps or hurts you until you actually play the game. We got obviously some extra prep time. We're able to prepare for Marlington on Thursday and Friday. Since we did not play Friday night, instead of having a normal Monday kind of scout session, we actually had a practice on Monday, which we normally don't get. So we had like 3 extra practices in there. Come about Wednesday, though, we're a little we were a little at each other's ends, getting at it. The players, the coaches. We've been 5 weeks without playing, starting 2-a-days and all. So it was a long haul, and I got to really congratulate the kids for sticking with it and staying with it. And wasn't sure how it was going to go last night. And they came out and they're ready to play, and we jumped on them right from the beginning. It was exciting to watch.
Connor, is this the most excited you've ever been to just get the pads back on?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Having the week 1 game canceled, it definitely added fuel to the fire. All the time, the prep. We started workouts back in January. We've been ready for this moment for so long, and it felt great to get out there and be able to play.
Connor, you win 35-0 last night. So 5 touchdowns and you pitch a shutout. You're playing on both sides of the ball. What was more rewarding to you last night?
I had a great time on the defensive side of the ball. Felt like I contributed really well. Had a few big plays out there. Nice amount of sacks. Still did some good stuff on the offensive side. Got a few carries. Had a nice block. Really, overall, good game.
Coach, how would you assess his game?
Well, he ended up with 8 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 3 sacks. So he was he was a terror on defense. He really stood out. Offensively, he didn't play much. He played in our power set, so he probably maybe played 8 or 10 plays, but he got 3 carries for 39 yards and had a 20-yard touchdown run. He looked so good on defense, so we tried to give him the ball a little bit there and see what he did on offense, and he responded on both sides of the ball. So really pleased with the way he came out of the gate there right from the get-go. And as you could tell, he's a real excitable kid. The way he talks right here is how he is out on the field, weight room, practice field, everything. He's just But once that ball snapped, he really turns the switch and turns it on.
Coach, is that going to be the calling card of this year's team? Is it going to be about defense that is going to take you guys to the next level this year?
We will take it, whatever it takes. We, obviously only playing one game. We have no idea what direction it's going to go, but it was great pitching a shutout. We went back and looked, and last time we had a shutout was October of 2016. So that was very exciting to get a shutout. We made one nice stand defensively when they got into the red zone. Made some plays down there, made some plays and stopped them, and then got a pass interference on 4th down and had to redo it. And so we actually stopped them twice on one series. So very exciting to see. And our philosophy is whatever it takes to win, whether it's a shutout and we win 3-0, we'll take that, or if it's a shootout, we'll do whatever. But it was great seeing the defense started off right away. We kicked off our kicker. By the way, we were a little bit late getting hooked up here. We have a cross-country match going on here, a big tournament, whatever they call those tournaments going on here. And we're out supporting our runners, but our kicker, Ben Shantz, is one of our runners running cross-country. So the team wanted to go out and cheer him on running through the course. So we're a little late getting here. But Ben led off and kicked the ball in the end zone, put him on the 20, and we stuffed him defensively right off the bat. And they had to punt into our area. Joey Madura got a 15-yard return. So we set up field on a 33-yard line to start the game. Set the tone right there. So our kick team and our defense is set the tone for the entire game.
That's outstanding, Coach. You're breaking up a little bit. We got you here. I got to ask you about Braden Venable. Started his first game at quarterback, I think, for you. How did he do in his first start? Well, John, I think we might have lost him.
Yeah, I think we might have lost them for a bit there. We'll see if they can maybe reload and come back in. I know that sometimes in Canal Fulton, inside the school from doing basketball games, there's sometimes. All right, looks like they've reloaded maybe.
There we go.
Yeah.
I don't know about reloading. This technology stuff is beyond me.
How about Venable's first started quarterback for you last night?
He did a nice job of distributing the ball, getting it to people, and that's what our quarterback needs to do. He's basically a point guard in basketball. He needs to get the ball to all of our players. I thought we did a pretty decent job of distributing the ball last night. We made some big plays offensively. We actually, because our defense played so well, I think I counted 38 snaps out of 44 snaps on their side of the 50. So our defense did a great job getting us the ball in good field position. That didn't have many snaps, but Braden went 14 of 18 for 165 yards, something like that. One touchdown, but did a nice job with his reads. But quarterback and team, always a work in progress. So we're always going to try to improve on that.
Connor, for you guys to be on the defensive side of the ball and pitch a shutout like that, what does that say about the toughness of this team, and what kind of tone does that set for the rest of the year?
All the team, we set a high tone there. Being able to pitch that shutout, we ain't done it almost a decade. The rest of the teams, they're going to have to be worrying about us. They should always have us back in their mind, even if they're not playing us that week. They got to prepare their offense, get ready, see what they can do to try and get the ball in the end zone, which we're not going to let that happen.
Coach, how do you get ready for next week's game? Louisville, they're off to a 2-0 start. You're 1-0, so both teams undefeated, which should make for a great week number 3, even though it's only game number 2 for you.
It is, and I always like playing, especially our non-conference in Stark County. Try to develop rivalries with other teams. I know it generates a lot of interest in the area, in our community, and this used to be a big rivalry, a few years ago. So we like to renew that. But it's great that they're off to a 2-0 start. I think Coach Kappas is doing a great job down there, and his entire staff. But we just reviewing our film. We haven't had a chance to look at anything yet, so we have no idea what direction we're going.
Well, we appreciate you guys getting up with us here on the Saturday morning huddle. Congrats on the win. Continued success to both you guys, and we look forward to having you on the huddle again and seeing you down the road.
Well, thank you. And we greatly appreciate you having us and look forward to seeing you.
Thanks, guys. Good win for them, John. 1-0 after having to sit out that first week because their game was canceled as their opponent had that hand, mouth, and foot disease, and that's popped up elsewhere too throughout the state and country.
It has. It's been a really serious thing here in recent weeks that's been going on, and obviously so happy for Coach DeMarco that they're able to kick off the season and finally get that first notch on the belt. It has to feel good. You could tell. I think I know how they were feeling, Kenny. It seemed like they were going stir crazy probably about middle of the week for not playing, and they finally got that opportunity, and I'm sure it felt so good to get out there and play. Kenny, we have two more things that we need to handle here before the end of the show. And I want to start with the Marianne Donuts sweet play of the week from last night, because Marianne Donuts, obviously, they're a big part of what we do. Danielle and the folks over at Marianne Donuts. I think I'm going to talk to my dad, and I think next week I'm going to have him do a donut delivery. I'm literally going to have him knock on this door back here and hand me a donut in the middle of the show, and we'll see what happens. But we obviously always have to find a play for this. And there were some good nominees last night. But, Kenny, I want you to talk about our play of the game last night, our play of the week, because it was a fake punt.
It was. And a great job here by the Louisville Leopards. I'll set it up for you, John. It was the fourth quarter, 4th and 10 at their own 28-yard line, Louisville, right? And they were in front, but they were trying to put together a long drive to chew up the clock. And so on 4th and 10 at their own 28, the quarterback is also the punter, Gabe Stouffer. And Gabe Stouffer throws a dime there to Kendall Anderson, a 37-yard completion on this fake punt play for our Marianne Donuts sweet play of the week. Thanks to LouisvilleLeopards.org for the video on this. My video was a little, not as clear as this, but you see it here. And I want you to watch. This pass had to just be over the outstretched arms of the Alliance defender. And it was, well-placed, great touch. Look at that, right on the money. And they extend that drive and go on and get the big win, 30-13 over Alliance. So kudos to Coach Kappas for practicing that during the week and having the guts to call it at his own 28-yard line. And then the execution from, Gabe Stouffer there to Anderson, and they get the first down, keep that drive alive, and basically go in, run out the clock almost, and get the 30-13 win.
Well, and what's so cool about that, Kenny, is, we've talked to Coach Cap now for, as you said, his third year, and you've just seen the maturation process take place at Louisville. There was a point where Louisville was the team doing that to opponents all the time. That was who they were. They were the team that was aggressive. They were the team that did take chances like that. And it seems like just from the highlights last night that Louisville kind of has their swagger back. And they've got a huge test ahead of them this coming week with Northwest. That's going to be a big week 3 game to really show off who they are, what they're capable of. And what's so cool about that is that you can actually watch that game this coming week. That is our Altman Health Systems YouTube game of the week. We're just that good at WHBC. We know.
Yeah.
We know.
Run that again. I want people to take a look at this play again, John, because, again, to have the guts to call it and execute it, it's our Marianne Donuts sweet play of the week. Fall means football, and filling up at Marianne Donuts, from hot chocolate to pumpkin favorites and those legendary football-shaped donuts, Marianne's has the game day gear you need to keep your crew fired up and fed. Whether you're in the stands or watching from home, bring the tradition, bring the flavor, bring the Marianne Donuts, a Canton classic since 1947, and that's how sweet that play was for the Louisville Leopards as they get the victory last night over Alliance, and we're clicking in all 3 phases of the game, offense, defense, and they're on special teams.
Well, and what I can't get over, too, is how you said where they were at the spot on the field at that point. I mean, the game is still kind of hanging in the balance at that point. It's not a for sure thing that they're going to win. And hey, if they don't convert that, it's not a 4th and 3. It's not a 4th and 2. It's a 4th and 10. And I think that says the uber confidence that Coach Cap has in his guys and has in his quarterback in particular in Gabe. I think this is a kid that by the end of the year, we're probably going to be discussing his name for County Player of the Year based on his performances. And he seems like the type of kid that not the biggest, not the strongest, maybe not the fastest, but it's all about what he does up here. A smart kid, and he makes plays, and you could see that. I wanted to actually play another play from him because I think it shows his smarts. This first play that we had here for him, and this is going to take us into our final segment. You can see he doesn't see anything, and he's able to scramble. He's able to make a play and use his legs to pick up a near first down. And Kenny, it was because of plays like that last night that Gabe swept the week for us, like Connor Shepard did last week at Perry.
Yeah, Gabe Stouffer is our, you ready for this? Community One Credit Union Player of the Week. The Louisville senior quarterback, punter, punt returner, defensive back. He's a captain. You see the C on his chest. He's there with Coach Kappas. What a great game for Gabe last night. 11 of 18, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, no fumbles, 17 rushes, 90 yards, 1 touchdown, no fumbles. The big fake punt right there to keep that drive alive. How about this? They were 5 of 6 on 4th down last night, Louisville, and that's the reason, because of Gabe Stouffer, the senior quarterback, getting his opportunity to shine, and he is our Community One Credit Union Player of the Week. When it comes to money, Community One Credit Union is always on your team. They've got the plays that make life easier, from loans to checking, online banking, and mobile services to youth accounts. Put that graphic back up so everybody can see our Player of the Week. It's Gabe Stouffer. They've got you covered with everything. Community One Credit Union, where community comes first. Membership open to everyone in Stark County. And again, our Community One Credit Union Player of the Week, Gabe Stouffer from Louisville, as he leads them to a big victory on the road last night over Alliance in our Freshmark Sugardale radio game of the week.
Last thing we want to get to here, just because we've got it, we also had our YouTube game last night, and I want to give it a shout out so that people know to go back and watch it. We had a number of viewers last night, over 3,000 watching the McKinley St. Augustine game, and Bulldogs fall short last night, but there were some great plays. Great catch here by DJ Britt in the end zone, bringing that down. One of 3 great catches you're going to see here by a McKinley player. This one here by Darius Hilkenny. This is impressive. I mean, just drags the foot in bounds, just able to get it on the sideline. That was late in the game to extend a drive. And then again, another play here, Hayden hooking up with Britt. Another nice touchdown pass late in the game. Both of those late and either in the 3rd or 4th quarter for the Bulldogs, but St. Augustine comes on the road and they pick up a victory at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium last night, and they're able to win 24-14. This run early in the game was a tone setter for them as far as a win last night. As again, they kicked off their season last night, coming to the Hall of Fame city and defeating the Bulldogs 24-14. And Kenny, this also gives us a chance too. Was there something else you wanted to add?
Well, I want to run down all the scores because too many guys had big games last night that we didn't give enough credit to with all the guests and everything like that. But with that game, you can also go back and watch it on our YouTube channel, but also on Rock Entertainment Sports Network. As they will be rerunning our YouTube game of the week and the Saturday morning huddle. If you miss it here with us one week, guess what? Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on Rock Entertainment Sports Network, they're going to rebroadcast the Saturday morning huddle right before their Cleveland Browns tailgate show. So you can check that out. If you have Spectrum, it's channel 979, Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Sundays at 10 a.m., the Saturday morning huddle replay, and then also check their local listings for when you can see our YouTube game of the week on Rock Entertainment Sports Network as well, John.
Well, and last thing that we want to mention, and then Kenny will give the scores one last time for us to end the show today. I do want to mention next week, Kenny and I are going to have to actually figure it out, but we'll have a full week next week of sports when it comes to high school football, because WHBC next week has 2 games on all of our platforms next week. So Friday night, you start on the radio and you have Rocky River going up against Lake. That is the radio game next week.
Freshmark Sugardale radio game of the week.
The Altman Health Systems game of the week. Nice job getting the sponsor, and you've been doing this longer than I have. Northwest at Louisville is the Altman Health Systems game on Friday on YouTube. On the stream, Friends and Family Credit Union stream game of the week. It features Sandy Valley playing host East Canton. Then you're saying, well, John, that's 3 Friday night games. What more could you possibly offer? Well, there's a special Saturday Freshmark Sugardale game at noon. It is the Hall of Fame Classic at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. The first of 3 games, Cleveland East Tech against Glen Oak. That's the first game. Then, as if that's not a big enough game, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 Pittsburgh teams going to battle against each other. Dan Marino's alma mater, the Pittsburgh Central Catholic Fighting Catholics. I don't know. I need to do more research on who they are. But they play Woodland Hills. The Fighting Marinos come to town.
Okay. All right.
They take on Woodland Hills on Saturday. We'll have that game for you. That's a WHBCsports.com Friends and Family Credit Union stream game. And then in the evening, another game on the Altman Health Systems YouTube game. McKinley going to have the nightcap at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium as part of the Hall of Fame Classic. They will welcome in Cleveland Heights. It is a full week. We got to figure out when we're going to do the huddle next week because the Browns play Sunday. I think the Buckeyes play.
John, it's going to be at 10 o'clock. It's just a matter of where will you be? Where will I be doing the huddle? That's where it's going to be. So we'll get the logistics figured out before next Saturday morning. But yeah, we'll have it covered for you with live games, taped games, the Saturday morning huddle, all of that. This is when you want high school football. Go to WHBCsports.com, check our schedules, and you can get the stream, the YouTube, as well as the radio game of the week. All right, John, whatever highlights you have, pop them up on the screen as we go through the scores from last night one final time. Perry, a winner yesterday, 36-0 over St. Vincent St. Mary. Jonathan Lemon, 13 carries, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. Nasir Foster and Jaden Wilson with pick sixes. Cam Trehorn threw for 132 yards and a touchdown. Perry outgained St. Vincent St. Mary 366-110. McKinley falls to St. Augustine 24-14. They trailed 7-0 after the opening drive, 14-0 at half, 24-0 in the fourth quarter. Made a game of it late, but McKinley falls to 1-1 on the year. Massillon, a big winner over Glen Oak, 44-10 yesterday. Louisville goes into Alliance and picks up a big win for them to improve to 2-0. They win 30-13. This is Gabe Stouffer, their quarterback, our Community One Credit Union Player of the Week with a huge game for them. Jackson falls to Fitch 41-0. They lose Carter Molman, their second-string quarterback, to an injury in the first quarter, and Lucas Eckerman hasn't played in the first 2 games because of a knee injury. Hopefully things will get better for Jackson this coming week. Hoover is off to a 2-0 start. They've outscored opponents now 72-17. They beat Medina yesterday 42-17. They led 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. John Collins, 2 TD runs, 2 TD passes, the quarterback for Hoover. Lake is off to a 2-0 start as they won their second game on the road as they beat Boardman 48-20. Tied to George. 5 touchdowns in the game for Lake yesterday. He rushed for 2. He caught 1. He returned a punt for a touchdown and had a pick 6 for a touchdown. He has 9 touchdowns in 2 games, tied to George to lead Lake. And they win yesterday 48-20. Green loses to Riverside 16-15. Northwest 1-0 as they beat Marlington in that shutout win yesterday 35-0. Braden Venables, first start at quarterback for the Indians, 15 of 19, 168 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. Minerva, we had Coach Slates on. The Lions get their first win of the year, 23-8 over Crestwood. Mogador beat Central Catholic yesterday. The final in that one was 22-7. CVCA knocked off Canton South. The final there was 42-14. So Canton South now 1-1 on the year. Fairless, we really haven't talked about Fairless today. Our bad AJ Sarbaugh and the 2-0 Falcons. They beat Waynedale yesterday 35-0. Mikey Ritterback, 18 of 22. That's efficiency. 276 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He also added a touchdown run, and Jack Kirby with 2 TDs, 170 total yards of offense. Tuslaw gets their first win. They're now 1-1. They beat Chippewa 38-7. Ethan Hare, 3 touchdown passes, 247 yards of total offense in that win. Sandy Valley loses. They're now 0-2 to Manchester 48-13. East Canton, Spider Miller and the guys 49-0, as we say on the Kenny and JT show. They beat Wellsville yesterday. Owen McCroskey, a touchdown pass, a touchdown run. Dylan Anderson, 2 TD runs for the Hornets. Malvern loses to Martin Ferry 35-16. And St. Thomas Aquinas will play Saturday tonight against Valley Christian.
So well done job, Kenny, on all the scores, all of the highlights, and a look at the night. Unfortunate that we didn't get to see some of the highlights from Ty to George. I'm going to have to call up Dan today and see if we can see how his son scored 5 different times. One last final thing that we want to do, again, thank our 5 sponsors of the Saturday Morning Huddle. Marianne Donuts, again, got to go and get some donuts and coffee this morning. Akron Auto Auction, thanks to Chad Bailey and the folks. Community One Credit Union, our Player of the Week sponsor. My good friend, our good friend, Ty Colucci at D-Hoff Realtors. And, of course, Brandon Carl and the folks at Dirty Hands Excavating and Restoration, LLC, getting their hands dirty for a brighter future. And the Falcons of Fairless, as you said, hit me with that aha one more time.
Aha! It's either that or when they win a home game, I'll sing Johnny Cash in the Ring of Fire. So, it depends where they're playing. You get one or the other, and hopefully there's a lot more victories coming A.J. Sarbaugh's way this year.
Kenny, I know you've got to get going because I think there's a game in Columbus today. I don't know what's going on. I think Ohio State's playing Texas. It's just a 1 versus 3 matchup, just really pedestrian on an opening weekend in college football. So nothing big there. But if you want to, you can listen to that game on WHBC today. And Kenny, week 2 in the books for the Saturday Morning Huddle. A great week, and we're excited for week 3. As Kenny and I said, we don't know where we'll be with you next week when we do it, but we will be with you 10 a.m. next Saturday. Kenny, great work today.
Same to you, John. Enjoy the Buckeyes game, and good luck to all of our teams in Stark County as we'll recap week 3 next week here on the Saturday Morning Huddle.